For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a bit of review on a brand new driveway awning from Outwell. So with me here today I've got the Outwell San Diego. So the Outwell San Diego is basically a poled sort of driveway awning designed to fit sort of low profile camper vans. So like camper vans like VW T5, T6s, Ford Custom Transit, that sort of kind of design. Basically because it's got an adjustment height or attachment height of 175 to 200. So it's a nice, neat little measurement. Majority of vans in kind of this kind of style are that kind of height anyway, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But what Outwell have really tried to do is create a product that's kind of light in weight in terms of physical weight, but still quite durable, has some kind of key features that you probably would expect on a product that's probably in terms of like price point much higher. So it works really well that it's price orientated, but not gutted in terms of features. So again, it's one of those things that is quite nice overall. So what we have here is a fiberglass pole. So it's like a drill wrap fiberglass pole, 12.7mm into 11mm at the top. So a good sort of size, quick and easy to do. There actually are color coordinated. So this pole here is different to the one in front. And what they've done is a little bit of tape around the base of the pole, which is black, to go with the black pole sleeve. So again, you can identify what goes where quite easily. This one, again, it's sort of a grey or silver into the grey sleeve, so it makes life a lot easier in that sense. The fabric they use is actually their Altex 3000mm fabric, so the 3000mm hydrostatic head runs about 70D, so it's a good sort of durable fabric, but it's all about being light and pack wise. I mean, the pack weight of this is about 11.1 kilograms, which is great, nice and small. You can also store the pole separately if you really are push for space. Comes in a nice bag as well. And nice and simple and easy to pitch. You can check out our own Attwoolls pitching and packing video. Myself putting this up on my own. Took me in the best part of like 11 minutes, something like that. So ideal for weekends away or a bit longer spells if you really want to as well. It's quite small in terms of its overall length, so it's 2.7 in its entire body. We've got about a 180 top and then a 180 kind of main body depth, 320 wide by a 90 centimeter tunnel section. On the tunnel, we have entrances on both sides, so we can actually enter the van without going through the main body of the awning. And in terms of attachment methods, you've got multiple ways you can look to attach it. So currently I've got it into a rail. On the actual awning itself, you have a set 7mm beading and 5mm beading. 7mm will go into any sort of normal C rail, whereas your 5 will go into like a wind out if you wanted to. So I've got it in my kind of vamoose rail or reamer rail. Personally, if you're going to put it into a rail, I'd highly recommend buying a fixing kit, just because that allows you to leave the van where it is, the awning where it is, disconnect both, leave them static. You can drive off, come back and reconnect again. Otherwise, you've got to kind of slowly move the van off and leaving the awning where it is in situ. If you haven't got a rail, what you can do is there's little tie points here for guy ropes you can throw over the top of the vehicle and peg it down inside. Or there's a sleeve for a pole system which you can clamp it into a gutter in like a multi-rail, or even just if you've got a gutter on the actual awning itself. But the door, which is quite nice, actually rolls directly back towards the main door. So I think it's actually a nice, neat way of doing it. And then this becomes almost, the tunnel section is always going to be kind of your wet, dry section, somewhere you can just get a bit of shelter if need be. But tucks it back nice and neatly out the way. The fiberglass poles merely just go into the ring and pin system at the bottom. You've got tensioners on there as well. So you can also, if you're not the best at getting in, you can do that as well. Ventilation points located on the side here to help airflow and keep it nice, fresh, and try and sort of fight condensation inside of it. Outwell have their unique features on this, where we've got their wraparound pole system. So it's a wraparound guy system. So what it does, it actually ties the fabric to the poles, and when you pull the guy rope, you're then pulling both together, and it means you're going through one nice big seam rather than just hinging on a little point. And one thing you notice as well is when you look around, even with the general guy ropes, they're into webbing point. The webbing point then actually carries on through the taper and then again goes into seams. It's a much more reinforced way. So when you sort of get a bit of wear and tear of it, it's going to last rather than just sort of pinching this point and ripping off this point here. So it's fully connected into the model itself. We've got tinted windows located at the front of the awning as well. So it adds a bit of light into the awning, but you've also got a bit of privacy. There are privacy curtains behind which you can take up halfway or fully up to the top when you want that complete amount of privacy. But again, one of the other unique features I love about kind of the awning itself is the fact that all of the doors are completely sealed, which again is a feature you don't really see on kind of what I'm going to call entry-level product, which I would kind of classify this as. You know, it's a sort of no frills, good quality, don't get me wrong, and good fabric, good workmanship, but no frills in terms of features. And that's it's only kind of partly true, I suppose, because we've got a complete zip mesh door. So a lot of them you find won't be zipped in the bottom. This one is. So it means a proper bug-free barrier. Keep the kids or dogs, anything in when you're in there at night with a light on. Again, it means that you haven't got the sort of midges coming directly in. So that's a really nice big thing for me. Colour coordinated pegs. We've got those plastic pegs supplied with it. Webbing straps. You can just peg the main four corners. And like I said, you can see that pitching video of how we've gone about that as well. The front door, admittedly, when you come into it, there's a little bit of lip into the front door, but the rear door that basically goes onto the awning, onto the van, for example, that is completely flush, and it can basically toggle down nice and neatly. So you can roll this door back. Of course, there is a normal door, like your weather protected door in front of it, so you can look at that if need be as well. What I'll do, in fact, let's bring the camera around, just give you a bit more of a better angle of everything. So now you can sort of see inside. The thing that's quite surprising, for such a small awning, it does feel remarkably spacious. I was expecting to be quite claustrophobic, and I'm not really sure why it isn't. It's just, whether it be the pre-angled poles to give you a bit more internal height, and the sidewalls are a bit further away than you would think for an arcing model. And that sort of depth, you know, you can get enough for a table and chairs in here, or just use it for general storage if you wanted to. And then the panel at the back here has the flexibility. You can open it from sort of right to left or left to right, depending on which way your sliding door opens. So you can kind of mirror that. So again, it means that if you want to use it on a Continental van, or you've got doors either side, you can utilise that function and feature. And what it does create is almost like a little corridor between the van and the awning, where it can be like your wet dry area. Somewhere you come in from the open door, take your shoes off, put a portaloo or something in there as well, so you've got lots of flexibility. But when you want it to bring it into one big open space, because the door goes fully all the way back, and we've got that thorough zipper on the bottom, again to get that full-on seal, it then opens up the whole section. So when you have essentially a door open on the camper, it just means that it incorporates everything into one big space. So the ground sheet itself, you can toggle that down and it pegs down, so then you have to go into it. The sliding door opens up with a full sections because the cater length, or the attachment length, is 2.5 meters. So as long as you've got that on your vehicle, you're good to go. Most vehicles tend to, unless you've got like a caddy or something like that. But having that open and sort of sitting here, it just makes the awning feel bigger. You're sort of bringing this kind of wet dry area into the kind of enclosed area with that sewn in ground sheet. So I think that works really quite nicely. We've also got Outwell's hook track system. So it's their beading, which basically allows you to have things like hanging lights, or you can run flexible saving lights directly through it. You can also use it for like organisers. It has kind of like a minimum weight, I think about 1.5 kilograms, so it can take a little bit of weight, but not a huge amount. Doors on either side, as we've sort of mentioned. In fact, let's actually bring the camera in and get a bit more close up with it all. So I think you probably appreciate that kind of depth. But for me, it's the windows at the front there. Again, you've got a bit of light into it. You've got kind of the blank panels with the mesh point located at the top. You can see the toggle points here for the curtains, which we've got down the bottom, so you can go obviously halfway or fully up to the top. And that's that kind of hook track system. What you also got here is a cable entry point located down the side here. So the cable entry point nice and neatly down there. But when you come into the tunnel section, let's say you've got one door either side. And then we've got adjustment in the forms of a webbing strap just to take that up and take the slack off. But it sits really quite nicely. And again, the thing you find with, like most brands, is that seal in the vehicle here. They've done a really good job of sealing all of the taping wherever it's been stitched. You've got a nice baffle over the zips as well. The main reason I say is because not all brands kind of actually seal every part of it, because they classify the tunnel section as kind of like it's almost like a wet area really. You're never going to get it completely watertight, but ideally you want it as kind of good as you to get it. You can see how much kind of the depth it comes off the van. But this kind of sits in their kind of Rome collection. So they've got two other models in this Rome collection with slightly different designs. Again, all the same kind of specifications. Just you've got the Farno, and then you've also got the Pine Hills. But you can see how nicely it sits. And if we look at kind of the attachment methods as well, we've got the straps that go over the top, the dual beading of the cater itself, and then that is the sleeve for the pole and clamp kit. And you can see probably the colour coordination is black tab, and then we've got the grey tab there. So that's how you really identify it. Obviously, you've got a nice big mesh vent on both sides, and then the cable entry point located down directly at the bottom. But I think again, it's a nice looking model. It's I'm not going to say it's no frills, because if you look at models and other awnings in the same kind of design and brackets, I don't think many of them have, like I said, the fundamental features that you get with this, i.e. things like the cable entry point, the complete sealed zips on the front and the back. You obviously got the doors a little bit different. The poles, again, the wraparound fiberglass pole system. It's all these little things, the way the seam gets taken into the main kind of seam, and all these little touches that kind of really make Outwell what they do is very good. You know, they're all about. This collection's been specifically designed for the point that they don't want to compromise on quality, but want to offer a decent sort of price. Very kind of interesting, something small, compact, easy to use, and people are going to love and use more and more. So I think they really kind of hit the nail on the head. My probably personal favourite is the Fano in this collection. Just think the space for the sort of money you get, but it is generally, when you compare it to what else on the market, it's definitely more feature rich than what else is on there for what you pay. So I think from the value point of view, it is good value. And it's the quality that we kind of know and love. 2-year warranty on kind of the workmanship, maybe not essentially the poles, but because that's more down to fiberglass, and they tend to be more down to misuse if they break. You do get, it's not very often you get storm damage, for example, but that's kind of where it's covered. But on the whole, I think a really nice model, something a bit different, and I don't know, it's a newer twist with more features. It's almost like our next level, rather than going say 1 to 4. It's that midpoint 2, but giving something that's all round a nice bit of kit. And again, just like the embroidery on the fabric works really quite smartly. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm quite pleased and quite happy with it, and it's certainly one model we'll look to have in the range for certainly on display at our indoor showrooms. So you can always check that out as well. Feel free to look at our pitching packing video as well, how quick, simple and easy it was for me to pitch. But for more information, you can check the link below this video, take you through to our website, where we've got all the information on sort of pack sizes, floor dimensions, overall weights, individual specifications. So all that is there for you to sort of enjoy at your own leisure. And feel free to comment in the box below what you think of the product as well. It's great to have feedback from you guys as well. But all in all, I think it's something positive, something nice and new, and a little bit of a, not niche in the market, but something a little bit different than we've seen probably from other brands as well. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again soon in our next Outwells outdoor video review. And that's been our video review on the brand new Outwell Santiago Driveway Awning.